All right.
Are they going back to the...
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rebelli.
Good morning. Good morning. Maybe is Gary still in the wedding? He was on. All right. So if everybody can mute themselves since he's not around. Rabbi Isai, today's shir is being sponsored by Shmelki Gutman, sponsoring all three shiurim for the day, starting last night. His father-in-law's yahrzeit this Shabbos, Chami Moiri. I better look this up because everything printed out backwards. That's not good. All right, so we'll move on. Meanwhile, I'll get the right spelling here. You know what? Let's do it right now so we get it right. When I print, sometimes... Okay, here goes. Sorry. No. Okay, so first of all... sponsored by Shmelki Gottman, Lila Nishmas, Avi Moiri, it says, Rabbi Yitzchok ben Rabbi Yehuda Zechron Levracha, Lila Nishmas, Imi Mirasi, Moras Rochel Bas Reb Aryeh Leba Koyin Zechron Levracha, Lila Nishmas, Rabbi Yosef Chaim ben Avram Zechron Levracha. This came out completely wrong. It says Chami Moiri here. Okay. Another sponsor for today, dedicated by Howard Taber in honor of the upcoming marriage of his son, Jacob Taber, to Melissa Robinson, your loyal YouTube Daf Yomi participant from West Hempstead, New York. West Hempstead, New York. So yishar koyach to the sponsors. Listen to this one from Saul Feldman. L'chvoid Admor HaKadosh HaTzadik Rav MDY Shlita. So I got to stop there. We have a few problems based on what we learned yesterday. Does anybody see a problem with this? Nachama. L'chvoid Admor HaKadosh HaTzadik Rav MDY Shlita. The problem is we learned HaKadosh is only for Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Rebbe, even Rabbi Yossi doesn't get HaKadosh. And this is a person that knows his stuff. You'll see he brings in, he listens to the daf and he says, this big shaila here. Admor HaKadosh, HaTzadik, Rav, MDY. Another problem, I'm not the Rav of MDY. They actually asked me they advised me to be the Rav there, to at least sit in the front so that if somebody tries to chop our place, there could be an official person. I could be the face of, my seat is in the center. They don't wait for me for Shmoneh Esrei or Shema. They don't give me any aliyahs. I'm not the Rav of MDY. So there's a few problems here. I didn't even want to say the Rav's first name, to be machmer about the sheet, about not saying one's Rebbe's name, as we similarly spoke about mentioning Abba Chalafta on Kuf Tes Vav Amud Aleph. So the guy knows his stuff, but he doesn't know about HaKadosh. It's correct to refer, maybe because this was written actually maybe before, it's correct to refer to the daf with English letters. I guess this is totally in the machlokes about Omid versus Page. Thank you for being the best co-pilot during the long summer drives to the Catskills. So that's why I'm reading it today, because he's going up to the mountains, Mistam, or maybe he did already. I tried to do Chazara via YouTube 1.5 times speed during the drive. In addition to Limud HaTorah, no Bittul Zman, no Lashon Hara with my passengers. The shiurim are funny, entertaining, and help keep me awake. How are those jokes on 1.5 speed? I don't know. I mean, the punchline is like this missing like that. Yes, the Rav Shiurim keeps people awake. Okay, thank you. Wishing you all the brachas that you taught us about Shabbos, Nachlo Beli Mitzarim, and Nitzel Meshib Goliois, Saul Feldman, Ke'ez Brooklyn. I'm not from Brooklyn, so I don't have a Brooklyn accent. I can't tell really from the email, and I don't live on a Mavoi street. Gewaldig. Dear Rebelli, as I listened today to your shir, I heard the great idea to make the Siyum Be'ezras Hashem on Masechtas Shabbos, each group to join together in Zoom with the group. You forgot to mention Brazil, but I'm sure the reason is because it's not an English-speaking country, but we really hope Emir Hashem to join it. Thank you again for your tremendous job of Arbutz's Torah worldwide. Chesky Rosenberg, that's the Melamed from Sao Paulo. Bekitzer, we have Ezra Abrams from Australia. We have that Tzaddik from France. We have the Netzer Mishpacha from Italy. He's a Magid over there. Remember, he said he gives the daf. I don't know if it's the Netzer from the hotel, from my kosher hotel, but maybe his father or somebody. Then we have the Chaver from Sultan. We'll get the whole island. It'll be unbelievable. It'll be a matzav. Okay. Boysai, we have a tremendous daf again. Daf Kufyutes, continuing with the same unbelievable sugyas that we had before. Each line is a sugya on it itself, and we could talk about every line here, but the Gemara does justice for itself. We don't even need that much extras, and it's just beautiful stuff. So we're holding 4 lines from the bottom of Daf Kufyut Ches Amud Beis. B'neis, somehow we got there. Don't expect any nisim today. Omar Rav Sheshes, Teisili. This is an amazing sugya. As I was learning it over and over, I realized, and it connects later on, that we're dealing with Amirayim that kept the entire Torah. Every mitzvah, to the fullest extent. Yet Rav Sheshes says, Teisili, I should be awarded for the kaimis mitzvahs tefillin. You and I also are mekayim the mitzvah of tefillin. Rashi points out here, he never in his life walked 4 amas without tefillin. So you see what he means to say is that each Amoira here had a mitzvah that they excelled in. Like he brought yesterday, Rabbi Pinchas Scheinberg excelled, I don't know, maybe excelled in other things. The one I'm familiar with, and everybody's, the tzitzis. He wore a crazy amount of pair of tzitzis. That was his favorite mitzvah, so to speak. Says Rashi also, he never went without tzitzis, dalad amas. Omar le Rav Yosef, berei the Rabbo. The famous, we're going to have them soon. Rav Yosef, Rabbi and Rav Yosef were a duo. They were always together. So Rav Yosef asks Rabbi's son, tell me a little bit about your father. The best friends. They argue about everything. What's his favorite thing? Omar le betzitzis. Yom Echad, he tells him a story. He was walking up a ladder. If siklei chuta, one of the strings of his tzitzis got caught in the ladder and snapped off. He stood there until he was able to fix his tzitzis. That was his thing. I don't want to use the word really, but it's like that was his mishigas, not chas v'sholom, but that was his. That was it. You know, people knew him. He was crazy about the tzitzis. Everything else, of course, he kept 100%. But if you want to, you talk about Rabbah, it was his tzitzis. It's interesting because the Rambam says that if you pick one mitzvah and you go crazy over it, and that is your thing, then you nitzel from Gehenna. So he also talks about this concept about having your thing. What is your thing? What is your mitzvah? This you probably heard dozens of times. Also, it's a classic line. What's my schus? Says Rashi, he was the Rosh Hashiva, and when one is Talmidim, he noticed that one of his Talmidim is Shalom Masechta, finished the Masechta. Avidne yoyim atavel rabbanon. This is always mentioned in the 9 days when you make a siyum. It's brought from this Gemara. This is the idea that you can make a siyum. In fact, the Ben Yehoyada says over here that he would make a yom tov, meaning you don't say tachnun that day. It was a yom tov. So you make a big suda for the rabbanon. Imagine his Masechta that didn't even have his Rebbe's name in it. It didn't say Abaya in the whole Masechta. You know what's going on here? Half of our Masechta says Abaya, every 2 lines Abaya. So he made a half a siyum kind of. There's no Rav and Abaya. Okay, whatever it was. I'm sure it wasn't every day that they made a siyum, because otherwise Abaya would be busy making siyum all the time. But maybe it's on all shas. It says Masechta. Omar Rava, Teisili, Dechi Osa Tzuvim Rabbanon L'Kamei Dina, Loi Mezigno Reishi Abeisadio, says Rava. Something similar but different. So Abaya treated his Talmidim with all the respect in the world. Rava says, I also treat my Talmidim with all the respect, that when a Talmud Chacham comes to me, like Hamay Ledina, I don't rest my head on the pillow. There's some people that say, let me sleep on it, or let me rest, let me lay down, and then maybe something come to me, and all of a sudden, by mistake, I shut my eyes and I had to rest my eyes a little bit, and then I fell asleep. He refused to put his head on the pillow until, obviously this is not usher, he wasn't trying to find favor more in the Talmud Chacham, but the point was maybe that he put his din first, he was thinking about it more, let's get this Talmud Chacham out of the way so he could continue with his learning, etc. Here's another idea that I love Talmid Chacham so much that I cannot judge a Talmid Chacham. He comes to me, L'din Torah, I am biased. Just like I cannot judge my father, I can't judge a Talmid Chacham. My Talmid Chacham like Gufay, I love him like I love my own body. And I am biased. Reb Chanina, this is the sugya of how you have to be mechabed Shabbos. Reb Chanina me'atev v'koya panyo demali Shabbos. He would dress in his finest. Omar boyu v'neitzei l'kras Shabbos hamalka. Let's go greet the Shabbos queen. And this we say in shul every Friday night. Rabbi Yani Lovish Moneh, he would put on his Shabbos clothing. Mali Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. V'omar boyi kala. As we say in l'chodoidi, welcome the kala, welcome the kala. Rabba bar Rav Huna ikla l'bei Rabba bar Rav Nachman. Rabba bar Rav Huna showed up for Shabbos to Rabba bar Rav Nachman's house. He noticed that they had 3 saw worth of these wafers. A tremendous amount of wafers. I did the cheshbon yesterday. It was like, 48 meals or something crazy. Omalei, miyavi yeditim the asina. Well, you knew I'm showing up. How do you know? You have Ruach HaKodesh. Omalei miyadifas la minah. Well, you think you're more important than Shabbos, than herself? We made this the Kavod Shabbos. We do this every week. Rabbi Zovin b'tleisar astire pshite bisro mitleisar taboche. Rabbi Abba would buy 13 astiris worth of meat from 13 different butchers. So Rashi says later on that this is an exaggeration, and we have a lot of times in Shas the number 13 is an exaggeration, like the number 400 a lot of times in Shas, the number 300, and the number 13 is an exaggeration according to Rashi. But it means that he went to many different butchers, one after another. So he would buy a couple pounds of meat, and he would run home and put it by the doorstep, by the doorway, and he would yell into his staff, to his chefs. He would say, Rabbi Isai, the meat's here. V'omar luhu, ashrur hayo, you better hurry up and make this quickly because more is on the way. I'm going right out. I gotta hit another 12 butcher shops. So cook this up quickly. Rebavo Havi Yosef Atachtoko Deshina. We'll see later that the Maharsha actually doesn't like to say that 13 is a guzma. 13 is a special number, like Bar Mitzvah and Shlosh Esrei Midos and the 13 Midos of Rachamim. 13 is a number. Rebavo Havi Yosef. He used to sit on an ivory chair. Why is the Gemara saying that? Who cares what chair? To show us that he was very wealthy. Even today, ivory is very expensive. Umoishiv nura, and he would sit there and fan the flame. If a person could afford, what did you write? No, I saw something come on my screen. 13 pieces of meat from 13 different stores. Okay, I don't know what it said. Something. Did I make a mistake? It was a correction? No? Okay. The point is that L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, I don't care how many servants you have and how wealthy you are, you sit there and you fan your fire. You do something physical. L'Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. That is the point of this whole sugya. Sit in your golden chair, sit in your ivory chair, sit wherever you want, but you're going to be fanning this flame like a slave. Rav Anon Lovish Gunda. Rav Anon would put on his black clothing. You know, like those chefs, they wear those aprons because you get dirty. When you make food, you get dirty. Those clothing that we just learned it the other day, Al yimzu beim kois l'rabbi. Limda Torah derech eretz, the Gemara said a few days ago, that when the kohen took out the deshen, he switched up his clothing. So too, he would wear his apron, make food, get all the grease on it, then he would change his clothing. In other words, he wanted to show, I'm getting down and dirty here. This is l'kavet Shabbos kodesh. Rav Safra Machrich Reisho, Melaveh Malkah Shibuta, the famous line. These are Amoraim. Rav Safra, this is kind of gross even. He would take the head of the animal and singe the hair so that he could eat this head, cook it. You need to singe the hair off. His wife could do it. His slave could do it. No, he does it. Rava Molach Shibuta. If you look in the Mishnah Berurah, the Bir Halacha, there's a concept of yes, you have to learn Torah. And Torah is number one. And Torah comes before all mitzvahs. Yet, there's a special dispensation when it comes to Shabbos. You stop and you do something for Shabbos. It's an amazing thing. Because if you're learning Torah, you don't say Kriya Shema. You don't do anything. There's one thing that you see. No matter who you are and what you are, you stop and you do something for Shabbos. Reading this, we can't just read it and move on. We have to actually internalize it and do something ourselves. Mop the floor, wash a bathroom, whatever it is, l'kavet Shabbos kodesh. And I'm reading for 5 years that I lived here in Eretz Yisrael, every single Friday I would go to the Merkaz. It's a beautiful thing here. You go from store to store, from the bakery, and then you get some nuts for Shabbos, and then you get some cakes, and you go here and you get this, and you get the candy from the candy store. It took me, and then the guy selling fruit outside, you get strawberries. Mamish, l'kavet Shabbos kodesh. And then I figured I'll be smart about it, and I hired this boy, this young kid. He's not even bar mitzvah. I give him a few shekel, and he does the whole round. Everything that took me 2 hours, he saves me 2 hours. I'm thinking it's a loss. It's a loss for me. So I don't know that I'm going to go back to do that because I don't have the time, but I really have to incorporate. It's a tremendous loss. I did it because that was my contribution for Shabbos and for the week.
You're paying him l'kavet Shabbos kodesh.
No. There's no shliach in this. That's the whole point. There's no shliach. All these rich people could pay their servants. They have servants. There is no shlichus. You have to do it by yourself.
Eli, you're paying the guy. That's not a shliach. You're paying
that's a shliach. That's a shliach. Avi, I'm trying to tell you. There's no way out of this. You have to get your hands dirty. That's what the sugi is telling us. All these, the one that had a ivory chair, he could also pay somebody to sit there with the fan and go like that. He had the money. It's not about that. It's about you doing something for Shabbos Kodesh. I would say, his brother Mishabur, you have to stop. No matter what, do something, even for 25 seconds. But you can't just come into the Shabbos. Oh, your wife did everything. You show up.
You're missing my point, Eli. You're missing my point.
Money doesn't work.
No, you're giving the guy something l'kavet Shabbos kodesh.
I gave him money.
You get the credit for him running around for 2 hours, but you get the second credit of doing something l'kavet Shabbos kodesh. You could do nothing.
What? You mean it's hard for me to go into my pocket like the sugya to take out you get an award for taking
anything.
No, you have to get down and dirty. You have to wear a black cloth and get dirty. Polish your shoes for Shabbos. You have to do it. Taking money out of your pocket is not a malacha. That's not hard. Spending money, no, that's not the point. There's spending that we're going to get to. Spending. We're talking about physical things. Machrich reisha, malach shibuta, all these things. Let's go on. You'll see. Rav Huna madlik shrage. Rav Huna would light the candles. Maybe that's where the minute comes that men, they do a little bit on the candle. Rav Papa godil psilta. This is it. He would make the wick. Rav Chizda parim silka. He would chop the beets up. He would dice them up. Rabba v'Rav. So you remember we had Rabba and Rav Yosef before. He wanted to know what's Rabba's mitzvah. Here they are. All of a sudden, here they are again. Rabba v'Rav Yosef. The two of them together. They go together. Mitzalchi tzivei. They would cut the wood up, chop the wood. Not take out $1 from your pocket and pay a kid to chop the wood. He would.
It's not saying that this was his mitzvah.
No.
This is just what he did.
No, this is what he did for Shabbos. Yeah. Reb Zeri mitzatis tzatutei. He would light it up. Rav Nachman by Yitzchak. Now, in order to understand this next line, I understand this a little bit better. My father-in-law, the surgeon, he had a Chinese resident, And this years ago, he taught him how to be a head and neck surgeon, whatever. So my father-in-law goes around the world giving talks like these surgeons do, because he invented a bunch of stuff. So he gets to China, and he tells me that this guy literally insists that he lifts him out of the car, and that he schleps every suitcase. It's like a whole thing. It's a certain honor that we have no idea about. That it's something that they know. We don't understand it. But I never understood it. Like I'm reading this Gemara now, and it makes a lot more sense. This coming line. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak mechatev va'oil mechatev v'nadav. He would carry things. He would carry boxes. What's the carrying? No, I carry. And all these pictures I see of this guy, this Chinese guy, holding his folder, holding his suitcase. He insisted, literally, he would try to schlep my father and lift him up and bring him out of a car. Omar ilu mekalim le Rabbi Ravasi. If Rabbi Ravasi would show up over here, would I not carry their suitcases and everything? Of course I would. So for Shabbos also. This happened with Rabbi Ravasi. Amri, and they said, would I not schlep for Rabbi Yochanan? Famous story of Yosef Moike Shabbat. This is the guy, and his name was Yosef Moike Shabbat. He always respected Shabbos. There was a guy in his neighborhood who was very wealthy. The stargazer told him, everything you own, Yosef Moike Shabbat Ochalu. He's going to inherit it all. Ozal, he had a great idea. He sold everything he had. All his businesses, everything. And he bought a valuable stone, a pearl, says Rashi. He put it in his hat. Now, what he didn't understand is that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to take your money away, there's no way out of it. You could try to invest it here. You'll put it in the securest place over there. There are people that put their money in the World Trade Center, in the vault in the bottom. There's no way you could penetrate that vault. The largest vault. Then came 9/11, and poof, it disintegrated. So whatever you had, there's no way out of it. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to take it away, that's how it goes. When he was walking over the bridge, this he forgot about, that there's something called the wind, and it blew his hat off. Shadi b'maya threw it into the water, balikavra, and then a fish came and swallowed it. Askur, fishermen came, caught the fish. I saw a in the Mali shops, they were stuck. Now they have a dead fish. An hour before Shabbos, there's nobody buying fish now. The marketplace is closed. Amri, they had a great idea. Manzavi Kashta, who's going to buy it at this time of the day? There's one guy who loves Shabbos so much, he will probably trade in the fish that he has for this beautiful giant fish. We're talking about a fish that could swallow a hat. So it's a pretty nice sized fish. The Rugel is oven, he always buys. So they brought it to Yosef. He said, sure, I want it for my Shabbos. Kare, he opens it up. Ashkech bo marganisa. He finds a valuable stone. Zabne bit leisari ilyaso didon ready to have. So Rashi learns over here that it must be an exaggeration because the word ilyaso, says Rashi, means the typical translation of an aliyas hagag, of an attic. So he had 13 attics worth of gold. Says Rashi, okay, it's a little bit of a stretch. Taisva says Elisa is the name of a vessel. So that makes a lot of sense. He had 13 vessels, golden vessels. It was that valuable. We could understand that. The Marsha says no. 13 is not exaggeration. 13 has to do with Yud Gimel Midos. Yud Gimel Midos Shatar in the Dreshes Bam. Yud Gimel Midos of Rachamim. 13 of Bar Mitzvah. V'chulu v'chulu. Pagav Saba. Over here we must say that Ahu Saba means Eliyahu Navi. Eliyahu bumps into him. Omar Mandi Yosef Shapso. Whoever borrows on the account of Shabbos, Pari Shapso. So, could you borrow money to buy things for Shabbos? That's the big question. The Vilna Gaon says yes. The Bach says yes. But they came to ask the Chazon Ish, who happens to be a big Granik also. The Chazon Ish was a big fan of the Gra. And the Chazon Ish said, listen, if somebody came to you and said that he has bitachon in Hashem, that he doesn't know where to pay you back, but he has bitachon that Hashem will get, would you lend him money? So if you have that kind of bitachon, in other words, the Chazon Ish was saying that there is the concept that you borrow and Hashem pays you back, no matter what. But you really have to believe it. You can't just, and you're really doing it for yourself. It has to be with that strong bitachon that Hashem is going to pay you back, then Hashem pays you back. Ashirim Shabbat Yisrael b'mayin zoichin. Like Reb Shimshon Pincus, it says in the Sefer, he used to go every Friday to the Makolet with his children and tell his children, you could buy anything you want. He didn't have money. He didn't have money. Buy anything you want. Hashem's paying back. Okay, Reb Shimshon Pincus, he was a big Baal B'tachan, everything paid back. Ashirim Shabbat Yisrael b'mayim zoichin. The very wealthy in Eretz Yisrael, what's their schus? Omar lei b'shvil shema asrim. Because they take meiser. Shenemar aser ta'aser. So this is talking about meiser on food. So aser b'shvil shetisasher. The famous, if you take meiser, you'll become wealthy. Shebebavel b'mayim zoichin. Because in Bavel, you don't take meiser from food. Omar lei b'shvil shema chavim sator. Now, the Torah does bring down that this concept of aser b'shvil shetisasher, don't get worried. That you watch Fishel, read the article. If you give, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives much, He gives it all back and more. But that applies also in Chutz La'aretz, says the Torah. Now, the extreme wealth, they were talking about extreme wealth, the Bill Gates. So that's in Eretz Yisrael, Aser B'shvil Shetis Asher. And in Bavel, it's because the Mechabet Torah, Sheb'shar Ratzos B'mayim Zoichim, Amalei, B'shvil Shemechavdim Sa Shabbos, because they respect Shabbos. Story. The Omer Rebbe Barabo Pamachas Nisorachti Eitzel Balabais Belutkia. He was in Chutz La'aretz, and he was a guest. Ve'aviu lefanav shulchan shel zav, and they brought a golden table. Masui shisha asur bnei adam. It took 16 people to carry the weight of this gold. That's how wealthy he was. V'sheisha srei shal shali shel kesef puizboy. They had 16 chains made out of silver in order to carry the table. Uka arois v'kaisois v'kitoinois utzloichiois. We had these words yesterday. All these glasses and ladles and pitchers, kvuizboy, were on this table. Valav kol minim machal, and all the types of food, kol minim godim, ubesamim, and fragrances. When they put the table down, Lashem ha'aretz u'meloya, they would say this whole pasuk. Everything is Hashem's. He gave us a little bit, but it's His. How are you zayich? Omar li katzavoyisi. I didn't inherit this wealth. I was a butcher. Every time I saw an animal, I forgot what was the name of that restaurant in New York, that they actually own also like a butcher shop, and they take there's 1 pound of like unbelievable meat, and they serve it over there like that famous restaurant in Manhattan. Not
Mama Ray.
No. It's like one of the. Maybe reserve cut. Like one of those. Fine. Yeah, the newer ones. Lamaré is 30 years old. Umarti loy. Ashrecha shezochisa ubarcha mokim shezikcha lekach. Yes, because you set aside, all he did is set aside the best animal or the best cut of that animal for Shabbos, and every time a new one came and he put that one in, and he was very busy with his one mitzvah. That was his one mitzvah. Rabbi, again, you see this idea. That one mitzvah. And that's why he was zocheh to all this wealth. The Caesar said to Rabbi Shimon, why does the cholent smell so good? We have a special spice. It's called Shabbos. We put it inside and it makes everything smell good. Could I have some of that? It's a special spice. It only works for if you're showing Shabbos. It doesn't help for if you machal Shabbos. The famous psukim they were talking about. Where's Avi Tekotsky, Avram Tekotsky? You've got to find out if he still wears his hat when he makes Kiddush. You got to incorporate the stuff in the Shabbat. I don't know. I don't want to chop too many things. I'm going to start going to the Merkaz now. And I'm going to say all these psukim now, and then I'm not going to do any of it. So the Gemara says, if it says right before Imtisana Gal Hashem, and then it says V'ligdoish Hashem mechubad. Now we already talked about Shabbos. So what's V'ligdoish Hashem mechubad? Omalei Zeh Yom Kippur. It's not Shabbos because we already spoke about Shabbos. We already said V'koros Shabbos only V'ligdoish Hashem mechubad. So it's Yom Kippur. Shem Boi Lo Yachila V'Leishtiya. Omer Torah. So what do? So you can just fly through these 3 words, but this is something that everybody's familiar with, that on Yom Kippur we wear a kittel. Why? Because on Kuf Yud Tes and Shabbos it says, Biksus Nekiya. in a nice, clean beged. So we were a kittel. Next, every line here we could stop and talk. V'chibatoi, Rav Amar lahagdim. What do you do special about Shabbos? Rav says you make the meal earlier. Ushmul Amar la'acher. Now there's no machlokes here. It just depends what you typically do and how you typically do it. Shmuel says you should go later because you want to be hungrier. You come in with more of a taiva to eat. Rav says, but if you typically go later, so do it differently. Do it earlier. B'nei Rav Papa barabel Rav Papa. Like us spoiled Americans. The shchiach lam bisra. We eat steaks all week long. V'chamra kol yoyma. Or in France, they drink wine every day. B'may neshanya. So what's Suda? We have a Suda Shabbos every day. So what are we going to do different today? If that's what you do, if typically you eat at 6 o'clock, achrua, wait till 8 o'clock. But if you eat at 8 o'clock, I'll do it 6 o'clock. Rav Sheshes, I mentioned a few days ago, and somebody was asking, what Rav Sheshes was blind. Why was he blind? Because he chose to be blind, together with Rav Yosef, because they accepted upon themselves to do Shmir Sanayim, and it wasn't working out very well. So they asked Hashem, because they made a Kabbalah that they're going to be like their Rebbe, like Rab. Kids, they asked to be blind. Rav Sheshes Bekaita, so since he was blind, he had no idea when the Shir was over. When the time came, like me. If I don't look at the clock, all of a sudden, it's 8 o'clock, you got to stop. Bekaita, Chas V'Shalom, not the blind part. Bekaita, Moisav Lu Rabbanan Heichad Matyo Shimsha. So he had a trick. He put his Talmidim in a place where the sun is going to hit at the end of the Shir. So when the sun hit, they started rustling around. He heard the noise. He heard they were uncomfortable. Then he said, okay, Shir is over. But they didn't have a mechutzef waving his hands. Hey, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That's kind of respectful. Yeah, okay. Rav Sheshes, B'sifsa in the winter, same trick, but in the reverse. Where it becomes shady and cold. The lake muchaya. Ahaya. That they should know when to stop. Real quickly, I learned in Panovich Yeshivik Tana. My Rebbe was Rami Yehuda Lefkowitz in Shir Gimel. I had a Galadar as a Rebbe. Then he wasn't known as a Galadar. Who was the Rebbe in the parallel class? Rabbi Leib Steiman. Everybody wanted to learn by Rami Yehuda. He was considered an unbelievable Maggid Shir. So we had the schus of once learning by Rabbi Leib Steiman. And in middle of Shir, the Olam wasn't happy because he just kept on going. So they started banging their feet on the floor. Chutzafim, Israeli, Bnei Braki kids. So he said, Yesh Raglaim Ladover. I remember him saying this thing. Yesh Raglaim, I have to stop Shir because Yesh Raglaim Ladover. There are feet that testify to the fact that I need to stop the Shir. Rabbi Zera, Mahadir Azuzei Rabbanon. Azuzei Rabbanon. The turning of the Kufyu test on the base is for our good friend Fishel, who does Aser B'Shvil Shittis Asher and is featured in Mishpacha magazine. That's who sponsors the turning of the daf today. Mahadir Azuz Rabbanan. He would see his Talmidim talking and learning, steiging away on Shabbos. I'm begging you, don't be Mechal Shabbos. We have an obligation of Einik Shabbos. You have to eat. In fact, it's brought down in halacha. You're not allowed to fast past a certain time, past the chatzos. Einik Shabbos. Even if you're learning, stop. Even an individual davening by himself on Erev Shabbos, if you're in quarantine and you're davening by yourself, Vayichulu is a testimony. You need two people, right? You always, if you finish one answer, you always go to your friend, can you say Vayichulu with me? Because you're testifying. But even if you're davening b'yichidus, you should say Vayichulu. It's as if he's a partner because he's testifying that Hashem created the world and He made Shabbos. Now we mentioned this when we were learning brachas, I believe. Why do we say Vayichulu in Shul? We said it already in Shemona Esrei. So the Rosh says because of this one time or a couple times a year that Yontif falls out on Shabbos, and you don't say it in Shemona Esrei, so you say it afterwards. So the whole year we say Vayichulu afterwards, l'zeicher that, so there's no, you don't forget. Every single Shabbat. So why do you say it when you come home? You already said it in Shemona Esrei. You say it when you come home for your family. How do you know that words the exact opposite of the famous song, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Over here, the opposite. Words have more power than a stone, than something. Words are powerful. They created the world, words. Shenemar b'dvar Hashem shomayim nasu. With the words of Hashem, he didn't do it with his hands, he did it with his words. Words are very powerful. Omar Rav Chizdo, Omar Marukva, call him Balber, Shabbos, Vaymer Vayichulu, Shnei Malachi Ashoris Hamalavim Leilo Adam, Benichim Midei Maroishe Vaymer Loi. If a person says Vayichulu, two Malachi Ashoris, one good, one bad, I think. Benichim Midei Maroishe, and they say, Vaymer Loi, Vesar Avinecha Vachatoscha Techupor, should be forgiven from Michatoim. Tanya Rabbi Yosi, Bar Yudo Imer, Shnei Malachi Ashoris Malavim Leilo Adam Ber Shabbos, I just said I think it's the same malachim that we're talking about. There's two malachim that come with you. One is good and one is bad. And the job of the good one is to make you look better in Shemayim. The job of the bad one, he's a prosecutor. He says you're bad. When the person opens up his front door, and the lights are, the candles are lit, and the table set beautifully, and his bed is made. This should happen next Shabbos as well. It seems like the fact that the Malach says Amen, it helps you in a way. He can't harm you next week, let's say, or whatever it is, but he must say Amen. You walk in, and the place is a wreck. He gives you a little curse. And the good malach has to say Amen forcefully, against his will. A person should set up his table. Let's say he ate, he fressed on Erev Shabbos. You're not allowed to. But let's say he went to a wedding, and he had a mitzvah to eat. So now he's not hungry at all. He should set his table, even if it means put the flowers down, put all the nice silverware, even though you're going to eat a kezayis. So here's the concept of Melaveh Malkah, another major halacha. Melaveh Malkah. Even though you're not going to eat only kezayis. If you drink hot water or bathe yourself in hot water, it has healing properties. You take a hot loaf of bread out of the oven. It could heal you. Rabbi Avo says the Gemara. This is an incredible story. Every single Motzei Shabbos, he would look through his barn and find an animal that was the third born. I don't know how many animals he had, but every Motzei Shabbos, he searched for this perfect animal. The third born, all through Shas, tastes the best. Magen Avram points out from this, and this was from Motzei Shabbos. He points out that it's better to make Melaveh Malkah on fleishiks. Have a ochel, every word here, I'm telling you, every word is a sugya. Have a ochel minei kul yaso. All he ate from it is a small part of the kidney. Ki gadol avimi berei, so Avimi, his son, grew up. Omalei, lo malach lavsuli kulei. Daddy, I don't understand. You shech the whole animal, and all you eat is a small part of the kidney. Nishbay kul yasim shabsa. Obviously, you're shechting an animal for Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. Take a little part of the kidney and put it aside. Shavku. So he did so, and he set the animal that he was supposed to kill, supposed to shecht on Motzei Shabbos. Let's call this animal Ruvain. He put Ruvain aside. He said, I'm not going to shecht Ruvain. I'm going to use Shimon's kidney for Motzei Shabbos. So came a lion and ate Ruvain up. So if you look at this sugya, just think about it for a second, you see a number of things. What I see from here is the concept of having that one mitzvah that we spoke before. Rabbi Avo's one thing was, I don't know one thing, but here he was very makbid on Melaveh Malkah of eating that one piece of a kidney. You can make fun of him. His son says, what are you doing? I don't understand. There's a better way. No, that was his mitzvah. And when that's your mitzvah, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps you do that mitzvah. And then you have those animals, the egel tilta every Shabbos, every Motzei Shabbos. And you try to avoid it. You try to, maybe I could get away Somebody else will do it for me. I'll put it in the freezer. No. You see, you don't gain anything. Comes a lion and eats it. The idea of so this gives merit. This is a limud schus, more than a limud schus. For my mother-in-law, I said she makes an entire turkey and no one eats it. But my father-in-law takes like a little bite, a part of that kidney, and that's her mitzvah. That's how she's mekayim it. And you can make fun of her and say, "What are you doing?" But that's how she respects Shabbos. It's a person's almost like a mishigas. I could call my mother-in-law turkey mishigas, but that mishigas is that person's mitzvah, and don't go away from it. That's what the Gemara says. Don't stop doing it. That's your thing. Don't stop doing it, because if you stop doing it, you're not going to gain anything. Famous Gemara again. If you say with all your strength, says Rashi, with all your kavana, says Taisvis, B'kol Ram. We had a Rosh Hashiva come to Chicago and he screamed like a meshugana, literally, on top of his lungs. For a minute straight, the Chazan was done with Kaddish and he's still, top of his lungs. And I was just thinking this morning that maybe in Bnei Brak he doesn't do that. Because over there they'll throw him out of the neighborhood. But when he comes to America, here he could be Mekayim, the mitzvah. Nobody really knows him. He be Mekayim B'kol Koichai. But there's an Indian to do it B'kol Koichai, screaming like a nut, and having kavana, at least like Rashi. They'll take away all his averas, shenemar, or his gzar din, his bad gzar din that he has. Shenemar b'froya prois b'Yisrael, b'snadiv baruch Hashem, all these bad things that are going to happen in the Klal, I take away because you misnadiv, you gave blessing to Hashem. Mishum de baruch Hashem, my time b'froya prois, why did I take away the things that were going to happen to them? Mishum de baruch Hashem. Even if he has some sort of avodah zarah going on, they'll forgive him the chesiv hachem b'frei prois chesiv hachem by the egel kipuruhu omer shlokish kol ha'ina amen b'kol koicha. If you say amen with all kavana, poisem l'shari Gan Eden, they'll open up the Gan Eden. Shenemar pischu sharim v'yavei gitzadik shoymer emunim. I'll take your shoymer emunim el shoymrim amen. I think it's the shoymer emunim that they scream on top of the lungs. Shoymrim amen. You don't say shomer emunim, but shoymrim amen. What does the word amen mean? Omer Chanina, this is brought down in the Mechaber, and the Mishnah Berurah talks about it. Eil Melech Ne'eman. You are the God that's a trustworthy God. Melech Ne'eman. So when that's the Rosh Tevis, Aleph Mem Nun Amen Keil Melech Ne'eman, says Taisves Tzorich Lahariboy B'Shoshoymer Amen. When you say Amen, brought down in Mishnah Berurah as well, you have to think about this. It's preferable to think about Keil Melech Ne'eman when you say Amen. A fire only happens in a place where there's Chil Shabbos and obviously fires happen for other reasons, but predominantly because of this reason. We're going to make a fire. And it's not going to go out. You're not going to be able to put it out. The fire is going to happen on a Shabbos when halachically you can't put it out. Let's say it's not a pikuach nefesh. Let the house burn down. Omar Abaye. Maybe 9 or 10 reasons why there's a churban abayis. And they're not mechuluk on each other. They just add to each other. Because of Chilul Shabbos, that's why Yerushalayim was destroyed. Shenemar, Omer Bavo, Lecharve Yerushalayim Elo B'Shvil, Shebitlu Kriyash Mashachas Varvis. They didn't say Shema in the morning and the evening because they were partying. They at night they were at the bar. In the morning they were too tired to get up. Shenemar Hoy Mashkima Boiker Sheicher. They were drinking. Yudaifu Uchsiv Hoyachinu V'Nav Toiv Chala V'Yayin Mishtayim. V'Espoil Hashem Lo Yabitu. And they forgot to look at the beauty and the glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what He created by saying Shema. Uchsiv L'chein Gol Ha'amim Mibli Das. Because, and I was thinking when I was learning this, it's $1 million. But in Gaza, what do they teach those babies? Hey Jews. So they have a generation of suicide bombers. So if you take that idea, that concept, and flip it around to Torah, you teach Tinokish Beis Rabbim. That's what it's all about. If you mevatel the Torah of Tinok Shabbat Rabbam, then you don't have a future. Then the next generation is gone. So Memela, that's why there was Churban Abayis. Shenemar, Shfoich al Oilol Bachutz. You should pour your kas outside. Matam Shfoich. Shum the Oilol Bachutz. The youngsters are outside. Omar Ula, Lechav Yerushalayim B'nei, Shlo Yehoyel Lehem, Boishes Panim, they didn't have any busha zemizeh. Shenemar, Hoivishu, Kisei Eva Asu. Gam Boish Le'Yevash, in other words, they took bribes, they couldn't care. You caught them red-handed, they went weiter. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak Lechav Yerushalayim Elo B'Shvil Shuhus Shvu Katan V'Gadol. There's no difference between a gadol and a common folk. Everybody was equal. Shenemar V'Hoyach Kaham Kakayin, a Kayin and the common people were the same. Uchsi Basrei Hiboik Tiboik Haaretz. Omer Rabbi Rishim Barab Omer Rishim Barab Omer B'Chanina Lechav Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim wasn't destroyed. They didn't give mussar to each other. They didn't rebuke each other. We already learned about this, that today it's very difficult to do this mitzvah because people are litzanim, etc. It's probably better not to. The way the rams they walk head into tail. They put their head down. And they looked away. It's not proper. It's not an American way to tell somebody off. They were vayish. They degraded the Talmid Chacham. Shenemar vayu malivim. V'malachei elikim u'boizim dvarim u'metatem b'neviov ad alois chamas Hashem ba'amoi ad le'im marpei. Mai ein le ad le'im marpei. There's no healing. If you embarrass the Talmid Chacham, ein loy refuah l'makosoi. Fine, let's stop here. Have a wonderful Shabbos, Rabbi Yisai. Shira Matzah Shabbos is 9:30. I believe I'll be back in the Beis Medrash Matzah Shabbos. If you want to join Matzah Shabbos in the Beis Medrash, I'll be there. Sunday morning, 7:15, as usual, talking about the Siyum, whatever. We'll talk about a different time. It's in 40 days, and we're planning something beautiful that will unite everybody from around the world. What? Go ahead, Noam. Let's go. Amen. Dr. Epstein, it's great to see you. Thank you. Good Shabbos, Rabbi Leader. Good Shabbos. Dr. Epstein, how you doing? It's good to see you, neighbor. Shkoyach to you. Shkoyach. Shkoyach. Yeah, Shir Matzah Shabbos is 9:30.
Okay. Got it.
Good Shabbos, Tzvi, fine. Yishkoyach.
Eli, beautiful shirt.
Who's that? Who's just said that?
Married girl.
Oh, I want to hear that again. Say it again. I didn't hear it well. What did you say? No, not your name. The sentence before that.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Shkoyach, Larry. Thanks.